Guys, welcome back to a new podcast. It's been such a long time. I've been lots of traveling, lots of flying. Most of you know I'm a pilot, but I'm back. We're recording a new podcast. With me, I have my good friend, someone who's been working with me for a long time, Christina Tindale, who's also a coach and has been doing this for a long time. Christina, welcome.
Hello, Amir. Thanks for having me back.
Well, we can't do it without you. You're
Yeah,
you're as I always say, you're the voice of the people. You ask the questions that most people are asking. And happy July 4th, by the way. I know you guys are celebrating that in America at the moment. So
thank
um,
you.
you've come to do this recording with me, and you said everyone's by the pool, and I'm like, why did you pick today to do a podcast recording? But you're a committed woman, Christina. It's good to
Well,
you know do this with you.
same. What can I say? I love being here with you, so I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, we recently got together. Well, we're on Zoom anyway, and we said we should do some more recordings. And
Mhm.
to this day, I still get a lot of people, downloading and listening to podcasts. That, we recorded over 12 months ago. I just got an email today saying, "Hey, this many people." Downloaded the podcast last week. So thank you for everyone who's still continues to listen to recordings, even though we haven't posted and recorded a new one. But we're going to. And you know what? Mainly it's because technology's changed. AI.
Mm.
Like before, there was a lot of work involved to actually set up for a podcast, and we had to set up the cameras and the microphone. Now it's just simple. Christina's. It's all in your hands and the system that you've got, whatever the system that you're using, and it's simplified it. So hopefully, I was just telling you, Christy, before. I'm like, if this works and it's easy as this, I'll do a podcast every week again. Because it's the setting up, and I'm a bit lazy that way, aren't I?
Well, it was a lot. It was like a full production, especially when you'd have like someone else in the actual studio with you. You had like multiple mics and lighting and like all the things. And
Yeah.
now the platforms made it really easy on us. So I'm grateful for that because I'm happy to be back here and doing another, more behind the scenes episode. I feel like we haven't gone behind the scenes with AZ in quite a while.
Mm. Is that
Yeah.
what we're going to do today? Are we going behind the scenes? What's on the agenda today, Christina?
Yeah, I want to go behind the scenes and hear what's been going on at AZ,
Mm.
AZ and Co, as I like to call it, and hear what's been lighting you up lately. Like where has things been headed? What direction have they
Yeah.
taken? Yeah.
Well, I did do a retreat just a couple months back, which you
Mhm.
were part of in Bali, and I've got another one coming up. Actually, I did a men's retreat for the very first time in February, end of February, in Las Vegas of all places. Don't It's not what you think. Everyone's like, "Oh, men's retreat in Las Vegas." I get that. No, no, we were a little bit out of the town, and I just happened to be there, and for the NRL launch, which is the rugby league in Australia, we launched in Las Vegas. So anyway, long story short, I did a men's retreat for the very first time ever, and did a retreat in Bali. I was totally sick. That was a very interesting experience. I'm pretty certain I had COVID. I mean, these days, who do you even bother getting tested? It was probably the sickest I've been in many, many, many years. Probably the sickest I've been in my adult life.
Wow.
And I was running a retreat at the same time. And anyway,
I
so
don't
that
know
was
how
in.
you did it. I was like blown away at how you still showed up for that. Like seriously, I say this to myself sometimes still. Like if Amir can run that retreat, like you can put your big girl pants on and take care of this thing today.
Yeah,
It was inspiring. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So look. Recently I've really been feeling. I lost a dear friend of mine to suicide not long ago, and he's from the outside somebody who you would think is the last person to be going through some of the pain that he was actually going through. From the outside, this guy looked like he's had all the shit together. In fact, he actually helped a lot of people get their shit together. He was a pretty big personality in Australia and also internationally. and he helped everyone else's life, and then it was really sad to lose him, and I've lost other friends, other male figures in the past as well, to suicide, and I just thought, you know, is there something moral I can do? Because suicide for men is so much higher than women. I don't have those facts here to talk about, but I just know it is a lot higher. And it's interesting because predominantly the people in my seminars and coaching clients is women. They're women. I think I would say 75, 80% of my clientele are women. So only 1 in 5 are men. And but so it doesn't make sense for me to put together men's retreats because it's not the market. But when I lost and I continue to lose dear friends, and even people I don't know or I know through the grapevine, through other people, just um, I thought to myself, is there anything else I can do? Because I've had people come up to me, approach me in a cafe before, and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know I did your WTF program." I was like, "Oh, awesome, great. What did you think?" He goes, "It saved my life." He goes, "Oh, everything was I was about to, you know, kick the bucket, as they say, and it really saved my life." And it's the only program they did. I never worked with them personally. I never, they just did that one program. And so many times I hear people at that in that place, and I just think to myself, uh, you know. I wonder if, like, I could have helped. So I've been asking that question, and I've been getting the answer. The logical answer is, well, no, I can't help because predominantly I work with women. And why? Why is 4 out of 5 women? Because women are more willing to open their hearts, to be emotional, to be honest, and I'm not saying men are not honest. It's just they're willing to be raw and authentic at a deeper level, and so that's why predominantly why it's women. But then I'm thinking to myself, it's not like I can do something. I can, even though my market is not men. I need to try. I need to try and do something. So that's the something that I've been working with is actually putting together men's retreat. So I ran my first one in February. It was an entrepreneurial men's retreat. It was the ACE,
Mm.
Authentic Conscious Entrepreneurs. It was that series that I came up with, and then the guys that were there got so much out of it, and they're actually part of some of my coaching programs. So they're actually coaching clients, and they said, "When are you going to run the next one?" And there was people that missed out. Some other coaching clients, I'm talking about men here, who missed out on the Las Vegas one, and they were like, "Oh, I heard so much about it. Like, are you going to run another one?" I was just like, well, I think I must. So I was looking at running one in Australia, and that that got kicked aside because most of my clients are Americans. So I'm coming back to America to run another retreat for men in September. So flying out on my wife's birthday
Oh.
to be there, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I said to you, Christina. I mean, and I've said it to other people. It's not like I can run women's retreats because that would be weird. It's even though my clientele is women, um, and I've never gone, oh, run men's or women's trip. But what? I just feel I need to spend some time with some men, and and create a space that's really safe. In other words, because the biggest thing that men are so held up in is saving face. You know,
Mm.
oh,
Mhm.
like they might see that I'm weak. Now they've got the thing about other men seeing that they could be weak, but if another woman sees me, even though it's not their woman, It's just another feminine energy. If they
Mm.
see that I'm weak, like it's all over. You know, this is the what men carry,
Mm.
and it's and unfortunately, we, and including myself, we have grown up to to interpret emotions as feeling emotions as weakness.
Mm.
When you're a kid, you have a cry and they will tell you, "Oh, suck it up, princess," or they'll call you princess because you're crying, and it's the last thing you want to say to a young boy, growing up. It's just like, "Oh, man up, harden up." What do I say in Australia? You need to eat more concrete, like
Oh, I never
because
heard
it's
that
like,
one.
yeah, it's an Aussie thing, because it's like you're soft. You're harden up because
Mm.
you're showing emotions. Like, there's a big difference between putting your big boy and your big girl pants on. I like to use that term. That's
Yes.
different versus harden up, or toughen up, princess. Like, that's what a lot of men grew up with. In my generation. And unfortunately, what is that's created this huge blockage, that anytime they don't want to show emotions to another male, to another female, let alone to themselves. They don't want to like they avoid the emotions even into themselves, because they feel like, I'm failing if I'm crying.
Yeah.
Where women don't have that problem. Women, well, I should say, women have far that issue is far of an issue. It's because most women can go to their emotions, and this is the thing. If you want to be honest with yourself, you need to go to the emotions. You can't be emotional about something and just push it aside and suppress it, and then try to be honest about. And honestly, why is it important to be honest? This is not about being good or bad, because honesty gives you clarity. If
Yeah.
you want, if you've got a vision, if you've got a purpose, you need clarity. To have clarity, you need honesty. To have honesty, you need to be able to drop into your emotions and feel them, and attend to them. So that's why I've decided that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put some men's retreats, not because it's a smart business move, because it's not.
Right.
I don't even know how I'm gonna do. I don't even know how to find these men. I got one in five. I
Mm.
got 20% of my clientele is men, so it's very small. But I'm willing to start very small, and I'm willing to grow that. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to still continue with working with many women as well. But this is just a little side project, and I just feel, if I bring the men together, and at least they don't need to save face with other women there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can, you know, because sometimes I think to myself, it's really supportive to have other women there, because they when I'm running a retreat, they show the way, they lead the way, because
Right.
they share from their heart, they're open, they're vulnerable, and then some of the men, that would encourage them, but it doesn't really, because they
Mm.
think, well, she's a woman, right? And they want to not do that. It doesn't encourage them. So I've really realized that I need to run a retreat just for men,
Mm.
and and um and then once one man opens up and starts sharing, they all do. But when you have other women there, the men go, most, again, I'm generalizing here. Everything is general. But what happens is the men go, well, she's a woman, she is
Mm.
emotional. I,
Yeah.
I, I'm not going to be emotional, because I'm a man and I'm tough and I'm strong and I'm here to be brave. So, so
Mm.
yeah, I think there is something I could do, and I think that I must do it. And even though it doesn't make sense in my business, um, I'm going to do it. There's so many things, me, Christina. I do things. There's so many things that don't make sense. I do it anyway, and
Yeah.
then you, you know it works out later.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of what's happening in my world.
Yeah. I was actually speaking to a man the other day, a friend of the family, and they were telling me that they didn't even know how to feel. Like it was I guess they never learned because they were just told like not to, like you said, eat concrete or whatever, eat some more concrete. But like
Mm.
they never even learned how to feel. So like when they have those emotions come up, they don't even know what to do, like how to feel them.
Yeah.
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 And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of the work that I'm talking about is getting people to tune into their feeling. Now, there's a
Mhm.
difference between an emotion and a feeling, as you know. Oh, there goes my microphone. Um, as you know, I talk about that in my WTF program, because an emotion is determined by your perception or your view of what's happening. So, your emotion is a reaction to what's happening. So, whether it's excitement or elation, and you know, um, they're positive or negative emotion. They're all reactions to what's happening. Uh, but then there's this thing called the feeling, and and what's the feeling? It's when you're following your heart. But you see, the thing about the heart is that it's not positively or negatively charged. you know
Mm.
when it's love, it's or joy, although you might label that, oh, that's good, it's positive, it's not. It's neither. um the closest thing I can refer to is, I sometimes ask people, have you ever experienced happiness for no reason? It's it's like that happiness. If you've ever experienced happiness for no reason, that happiness is not a positively charged thing. Because, and again, an emotion is positively or negatively charged, because an emotion is a reaction. Like, in other words, you get, oh, I'm happy because of this. That's not it. That's still an emotion. Or I'm sad because of this. They're emotions. So, but to get to the feeling, or sometimes we call that, whether it's in your heart, or your intuition, or your creativity, to get to that, to tap into your possibilities, you must equilibrate the emotions. You must go through the emotions. What does equilibrate mean? It means you're neutralizing them. Okay, it's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's not positive and negative. This is why I always tell people it's far more powerful for you to be present than it is to be positive. Because, again, being present, when you're present, or you're in a flow state, it's not positive. It's not positively charged.
Mm.
It's so yeah. Look, to tap into your inner genius, you need to go through the emotions. And that's why there is more women, rightly so, standing up in the world and becoming leaders. And I say
Mm.
rightly so because they know how to tap into that. And to be honest, men are falling behind. And this is not about men versus women or anything like that. In case someone's hearing that and goes, "Oh, he's no, I'm all about." I'm about. This is not about competition. It's about completion. It's about coming
Mm.
together, and working equally, for greater good. So, but men are falling behind in that area.
Mm.
There is more and more, and this will continue. More and more women will become global world leaders. They will run companies. They will, like I said, rightly so. That's
Mm.
exactly what should happen, right? Um, but the men are still in the dinosaur phase. They're still trying to run the company the old way, and they don't know how to tap into their inner creativity. And the only way they know how to do it now is to hire more women to do that part. But you got to
Mm.
understand, those women are going to replace you soon. Unless you're able to tap into your inner creativity, you're able to follow your intuition, and you're able
Mm.
to, you know, resolve any emotions that you have, any noise, because the emotions make noise. They make noise, and sometimes those noise will get you in a very, very dark place,
Yeah.
as we can see. And it's very difficult. Some people don't pull out of that. Some people
Mm.
don't get through that. The only way you can get through it is to feel it. They say you got to feel it to heal it. You got to be able to feel it to heal it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you work with a lot of entrepreneurs, right? Like, so they're learning how to lead more like consciously and from the heart, by going through this process.
Yeah, whether it's entrepreneurs or big leaders, but
Mm-hmm.
the bigger they are in their field,
Mm-hmm.
they're less likely, if they don't know how to tap into their emotions, they're less likely they are to actually. Um, so the bigger you are, the less people you have to talk to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I mean, you look at me right now. If I wasn't able to resolve any emotions that's coming up for me, I don't really have anyone I can talk to,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm uh, in my little lunchbox, in my little field, I'm the goat.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest of all
Yeah.
time. If I can say so myself. But like in my little sphere, like if I had a major issue, I've got no one could talk. Who am I going to talk to? Like, because I mean, am I going to talk to you, Christina? Christina, you think I've got all my shit down pat? Like, I'm just giving you a reference point, right? If I didn't know how to resolve that emotion, and that's why it's important to go and talk to someone, because to talk to someone is actually helping you express those emotions. Those emotions aren't there to be there. So what I'm using myself as a reference point, because I know a lot of clients that I work with, they're goats in their field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what word to use here, but
The
they're
leader. They're
they're
the
the
leader.
leader. They're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
leader. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I'm not the goats, but they are the leader in the field, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody looks up to them as well. You lead us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when there's stuff going on for them, they can't turn around and talk to the people that are following them, the people that are leading, because it's like, oh, I thought you had your shit together. Do you know? So the bigger you are in your field, the less people, and it could just be a family man, that
Yeah.
finds it difficult to go and talk to his wife or their partner, because they're meant to be the strong one. They're meant to be the rock, and they're gonna lead the family, and then suddenly they've got no one to talk to. So
Mm.
um, yeah, it's I work with different people, and I find that if you can't deal with your emotions, if you can't resolve your emotions, and if you don't create good people around you that you can actually talk to, you don't want to just carry. You don't want to just have people that are following you because you're leading them. You want to have some really good friends. And again, I mean, especially in Australia, like, we show love with our mates by teasing them, giving each other shit. I don't know if it's the same.
Banter.
We call it banter,
Yeah.
right? And banter's the way we show love to
Mm.
other guys. And we're like, oh, you see it all the time, right? But then, unfortunately, one of the things that banter can cause, I know banter. Like, I've got mates that we're close with, and we're always giving each other shit. There's always banter going on. That's all. It's all good. But one of the things that banter can cause is you may feel like you can't sit down and actually have an honest conversation with a mate,
Mm.
right? So there needs to be a time for banter, and there needs to be a time for you to actually, check in with a mate and go, hey, how are you feeling? Like, banter aside, right? How are you, mate? Like, and ask your friends. Ask your friends, how are you? How are you doing? And and then, if whether you're the one asking that or someone else is asking that, to have the courage, because to feel emotions is courageous. And a lot of women are courageous, and men need to be courageous. Men need to understand that to feel your emotion is to be courageous, and then to share it is next level. And as soon as there's a safe space, it's like, share those emotions with your mate. So anyway, um, but when you ask the questions, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of leaders. Yes, and I find that the the higher they are in the field, the less people they've got to talk with, you know,
Mm.
and that's why friends are really, really important. Like, someone who's not in your field that can actually, have a conversation, whether it's your partner, your wife, brother, sister. This, everyone needs an opportunity to express those emotions.
Yeah. I felt very emotional at the last retreat I was at, just bearing witness to like the masculine energy that was there and how supportive they were to one another and just like the way that they talked about that and the relationships that they had. And I find it really inspiring. This offering that you're working with right now with the men's retreats, and I think it's very needed at the moment. So um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
What would you say is like the essence of the men's retreat? If you could share more about.
Well, it's not any different
Mm,
to any other retreats I hold, except for I may share some of my own stuff as a man, um, and really just to and I do that just to give them encouragement and to lead from the front to show that, hey, it's okay to have these things, these flaws or these imperfections, or you made these mistakes in your life. It's okay. And it's not about what's happened to us, it's about how we pick ourselves up and how we respond to what's happened to us. So I may share a bit more in those retreats, but it's not any different to the other retreats that I
mm,
run. I've removed women or the feminine energy from that just to make the guys feel a little bit more safe,
yeah.
because they don't need to save face.
Mm,
They're only trying to save face with maybe with me or with other men there, you know. But then I break that down, and but before you know it, like their view of what is courageous completely shifts, and it's it yeah, they leave a lot of stuff behind,
mm,
stuff that is no longer supportive for them, whether it's emotions, whether it's just blockages to get to the next level of their life or their business, and finding their real purpose. Most of these guys think that their purpose is in making money, their purpose is in providing, the purpose is in their work. And yes, we do find purposes in those, but there's no greater purpose in than finding yourself, because when the real purpose is in who you are, not in what you do. And when you realize who you are, it changes how you do what you do. Not necessarily changes what you do, and for some men that may be the case, but it's changing how you do what you do. And the reason why it changes how you do what you do, because you're no longer attached. Because before, you were doing what you're doing to feel purpose, to receive purpose. But now, if you found your purpose in who you are, you're no longer attached to receiving purpose from what you do. So you release the clause, your creativity start to flow. You actually begin to give purpose to what you do rather than to gain purpose from what you do. And that right there is a game changer. So that's those are the things that people get in the retreat. And it you always know that when someone's ready for a retreat like this, and it's the same male or female, it's that, you know, they really struggled in life to kind of make shit work, whether it's making their family or a relationship or their health or the financial circumstances. They really struggled to make things work. It's either one of those, and they're like, there's got to be something different. There's got to be something more. And yes, there is. The part that's more is yourself, because that you're only operating a very small percentage of yourself. They say we use less than 10% of our brains. Well, yeah, you're using a very small capacity of yourself, and you're trying to do it all on your own, rather than using your infinite capacity or your flow state that we refer to. So they're the people that come, and then you get people who are actually doing really well. They've kind of ticked all these boxes. They tick the family box, or they tick the financial box and the entrepreneurial box, and the purpose in what they do. Like, they've done really well. Like, from the outside, you think, wow, this person is really, really successful, or really, really, they're the goat. They're the goat, right? They're,
yeah.
they're a professional. They're like, so, but I get a lot of those people who come to me and they say the same thing. I feel like there's something more. Like, what's the point of all this right now? Like, I still feel empty inside. Well, yes, there's a part of you that's missing. You're operating with only 10% of your capacity, right? And the biggest thing about operating from only 10% of your capacity, I'm using that as a reference point, isn't that you get less results. It's that you get less fulfilled in what you do. So you try to do more, you try to have more, and the more you do and the more you have, the less you feel. Because you need to feel in here up before you go and actually, uh, you know, what do they say? You need to success. Success doesn't bring you happiness. You need to, so you don't become happy when you become successful. You become successful, the real success, when you're happy. So you need to find that inner happiness, inner genius, as I like to call it, the inner creativity, that inner flow state, the inner purpose. You know,
Mm,
without that, everything you do, whether whether in the story you look like you're failing at it, or in the story you look like you're kicking ass and you're the goat, they're the same.
mm,
They both got the same. So they're the people who come to me, and at that point they're like, something's still me. They're the clients. They're the ones I actually really help. And until you get to that point, you don't care that there's more inside of you and more potential and more, self-love. You don't care because you're so busy attaining and so busy doing, right?
mhm,
That at some point, the human being, whether it's male or female, gets to a point where you're like, I've been doing this, I've been achieving this. Why does it feel like it's, what do they call it? That movie. I was the movie that
Oh,
repeats it.
Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah, why does it feel
Yeah.
like it's a bit of a Groundhog Day?
Mhm.
And that's when they're ready. That's when they're ready for transformation, and the transformation is an inner transformation. It's to it's to find their inner self, inner purpose, you know,
Mm,
and that changes the game because when you realize who you are, you then become purposeful. When you become purposeful, you know you're starting to feel more purpose in everyday things, not just at work, not just for
mhm,
getting the gold medal, not just for the getting to the next level of your social media or whatever it is that you're playing in, right? You start to feel that inner purpose in yourself. So when you become purposeful, you then start to realize that you're giving purpose to what you do rather than looking to receive purpose from what you do. And that's a game changer right there.
mm. You reminded me of a quote I saw the other day that I really loved, and it said, "It pushes you until vision pulls you."
I like
I lo-
that.
yeah. I mean, I feel like with your work, it feels more like when I'm following the feeling or I'm connected to the feeling, it does feel like I'm being pulled, rather than like pushed. So I really felt that when I read that. Wow. Well, like I said, I'm very inspired by everything you just shared and with what you have going on behind the scenes with the men's retreat. When is that happening, by the way?
Yeah, so that's first of all, I just want to let you know that it is very limited.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat, I'll let you guys know we've already got like 5 or 6 people enrolled in it.
Mm,
Um, the retreat kicks off on the 13th, Saturday, the 13th of September, up
mm,
in California. And for anyone who wants to do that, you just schedule a time with me, and we have a conversation. And I'll just kind of just see if it's for you, and if it is, then we'll get you. I'll send you the invitation to actually join. But we've got 5 or 6, but I'm looking to have it max out around 10.
yeah.
With me is 11. So, because something that was really helpful from the feedback I got from the last retreat I ran, and the guys that were there, they were like, "I'm so glad this was really small and intimate because I don't know if I would have been able to go where we went and achieve what we achieved if it was more than this group." So I think, especially with men, we just need to have little small, intimate retreats at this point. So we're maxing it out at 10 people. There's already 5 or 6 people registered,
Yeah.
um, and I think Leah, who's one of the team members, she sent an email out to the database for the first time only a few days ago to announce that the retreat is happening. Um, And like I said, as soon as that goes out, then I think we'll get some people expressing interest. So look, here's the thing: most people who are going to be listening to this are going to be women. So you're like, you know, but
Well,
do you know a man that you
yeah.
know would benefit from this? And here's the thing: if you're not sure, I recently, and this is an announcement,
Hmm.
major announcement here, Christina. You don't even know about this, but recently, this time last year, I recorded my WTF, and I've been doing the WTF for many years. For those who are not in my sphere, the WTF is the wisdom, truth, and freedom experience. But the reason I called it the WTF is because when I would deliver this program previously, people used to say, "What the fuck?" Because it was such a mind blowing concept and experience that one day I thought I'm going to call it the WTF. So back then, everyone knew WTF as "What the fuck," but I came up with wisdom, truth, and freedom. So I've been delivering that program for a long time. I think that my recording that we've got that we sell online is from 2012 or 2011. That's a long time ago. I've
Hmm.
been delivering that program. So this time last year, I came to San Diego. You were there, Christina, and I ran a retreat in San Diego. And I thought to myself, when I'm running that retreat, I'm going to block out 3 hours within that retreat and I'm going to deliver the WTF components. So I did 3 different recordings over 3 different days about the WTF. So now that has become a super powerful WTF because the original WTF was 2 days long. Like there's so much in there. It's like 10 hours or something of videos. It's a lot. And I just wanted to really simplify it and like get straight to the point, to the punch. And that was my idea to be able to do that. Actually, it wasn't my idea. That was my intention. The idea came from the team. They said, "Why don't we do that?" And so, long story short, I've just only 2 days ago released that and made it available for anyone to watch on my website. So if you go to my website, amirzoghi.com, should be on the homepage somewhere, find the WTF, you can download and watch it um, at your own, and watch in your own time. So if you're not sure that, hey, I don't know if this is for my husband or my brother or someone that you know, send them the WTF, and then you'll know. So you can now get that free access on my website. There you go, Christina.
That's another behind the scenes. That's huge. That's amazing. I'm so glad that's available. That one is just so powerful, and like you said, it really packs a punch. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Chrissy.
Mm,
I've never watched it. Obviously, I delivered it, and I remember it was really powerful. But I've never watched it back, and I tend to never watch any of my things back. But
mhm,
with my inner circle coaching group, we said, "Hey, let's go watch that, and then we can kind of unpack it, and we'll watch one video, and then we'll come back at the end of the week, and we'll unpack it in that inner circle call. We'll watch video 2, and then we'll come back, and so on." So we did that. So I had to then go watch it. So I watched video 1. By the time I get into video 2, I was just like, I really don't want this to be unavailable for some people.
mm,
I know that this is just such a, I just needed to have it available. And that's all
mm,
I rang Leah straight away and I says, you know how we're selling this WTF for $197 USD? She goes, yeah. I just want you to make it available. Just put it on the
mm,
website. And for whoever wants to download it and watch it, they can. I just want it to be accessible. That's the word, you
mhm,
know? And I didn't want it to be sitting behind a price. Just want it to be accessible. And I like, I know I tend to do this quite a lot, right? With a lot of and I'm not doing it with all my but this program, this is my signature program, and I just want to make it accessible. So that's what's happened. That's become accessible. So yeah, if most of the people watching this are women, right? So
mhm,
listening to this are women, and of course, if you're a dude and you're a guy, like you really, you know, get in there. Let's have a chat because we're meant to talk. Um, but if you're a woman and you're like, oh, I know so and so, and I know, so send them to the website. Get them to share the WTF with them,
Mm,
and let them know about the men's retreat.
yeah.
And they will know if they want to do it after they watch the WTF. They will know after video one. After video one, you'll know, yeah, okay, I want to go to this men's retreat.
Mm,
And
yeah.
just so we know, guys, I know some men don't like. There's no fluff in my retreat. There's no there's no woo woo stuff. You know, we get to work. Um, we have a good time. We eat good meals. We have private chefs. I like to do it in style. Um, there's no fluff. I just in case. Oh, I don't want to. Is there gonna be some fluff? No, I'm not a fluffy guy. The only fluffy things that I experience is the clouds that I fly my plane. Sometimes, sometimes a month.
No fluff and no weird stuff either, which is really nice. It's very, very grounded. Yeah. Well, I am really glad we got to see what's going on behind the scenes. And, I have another episode I want to also connect with you on, which I feel like is connected to what we've talked about today. But just you have also been doing some training, a new training. And since the last time we did a behind the scenes episode, you've been doing a training with, and some of these men have been part of that too, which has been awesome coming into this training leadership and coaching TLC program that you launched, and I
Mm.
really want to get in there and ask you some questions about that as well on a future episode because that has been just such an amazing thing to be a part of personally, and I feel like it's just so different from what's out there. So I feel like if you're willing and this recording platform does it well for us this time, we should come back and do that for the next one.
Yeah, is that a teaser you just
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
Yeah, look, I'll definitely love to talk about that because it's very different. I'm
Mhm.
training people to become coaches. I'm training people or giving them equipping them to go and do what I do. Now, let me say straight off the bat, the reason I do that is because it's not necessarily that you're going to become a coach. Although I've got people out there right now who are very successful in what they do, and they're coaches, and they got trained by me, right? Including yourself, Christina. So you got trained by me, and you're a coach. And by the way, guys, if anyone here ever wants to hit up Christina, because you want to book a session, she's fabulous. She is the best person to be able to hold space for you, especially if you've got something that you need to get off your chest. You've got some blockages. She's amazing at actually holding that. So I think out of all my coaches, you have that's your niche. You have an ability to hold space, and that's why out of everyone that I've got a lot of people that I can do record podcast recordings with, but I do it with you because your ability to hold space as I'm actually sharing what I'm sharing, like it actually makes me feel like you're really interested, Christina. Oh wait, you really are, aren't you? You know, no,
Yeah.
like you got a beautiful energy, Chrissy. You really do, and I know anyone who's done coaching with you in the past also would vouch for that. So yeah, guys, if you don't just hit me up, hit Christina up. And how do people find you? Can I give you your email address?
Sure, you can.
Chris, Christina at
It's
amirzoghi.com or
Yep, you can email me there. I'm also at christinatindale.com. We can put links to this stuff in the show notes as well, and people can connect there. They can book in to do a discovery call with you about the retreat, or they could book in with me to do a discovery call, or all the above. We'll put it all in the show notes as well. So
awesome, awesome.
yeah, but thank you for
So
that, Amir. I thank you. Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Pleasure, pleasure. So I don't know where we're going with that, but
Well, the training, leadership, and coaching
oh, right,
TLC.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the teaser. So
Hmm.
next episode we're going to talk about that. So my point was this, all right? Because some of you are like, oh yeah, I don't want to become a coach. It's not about you become a coach. There's people who do that program not to be a coach. But what I look at my life and go often, I go, how did I get to here? When it comes to me helping someone else to get to the place that I'm in, and I'm in a very wonderful, very empowered, very powerful place. So make no mistake, right? Like it's wonderful, right? So how can I help someone else who's actually interested to get to where I'm at? So what I normally do is I share the WTF, I do some coaching with them. But if I look at what I did, what I did is I took on this work, I integrated it, and obviously I had people like my mum who supported me. So she was my coach, right?
Mm,
Um, and what I did is I applied it to integrate the work. I did it and I applied it. So you know it's called the learn, do, teach principle. So you learn something, and so you get all the content. You listen to the podcast, you watch the WTF. You know, you maybe you're part of a coaching session with myself or Christina or anything like that. You're learning the concepts that I'm delivering, then you do it. So doing means you put it into action, you apply it. Okay. And there's only so much you can do that until you get to the point where you actually become, you teach it, you share it. Okay.
mm,
So that's, and you don't necessarily need to be a coach to do that. That's why it's called TLC. It's training, leadership, and coaching, because not everyone's coaching. I personally believe if you're a good leader, you're a good coach. And in order for you to be a good coach, you're actually going to be a good leader. So that's why this is it's called TLC, of course, tender, loving care. By now, you know I love my acronyms. So yeah, TLC, tender, loving care, but it's training, leadership, coaching. So
mm,
that's why I do that, because I'm helping other people. Because I look at myself and go, well, how did I get here? Well, I learned it over and over again, and I continue to learn it. I do it, which is applying it. And I do that over and over again. I'm applying it every day. It doesn't change. All right. How I do it changes. How effortless it is. At the beginning, when I'm doing it was effortful. Now it's effortless. And then I
mm,
teach it. I don't hold on to it. You know, I give it to someone. You know, whether you have a business around that, you're sharing it, or whether it comes through and you're teaching it to your children, or you're teaching it to your employees or your team that you're leading. I don't know, but you don't want to hold on to it. You want to give it. You want to share it. So just in case you hear that, oh, TLC, well, I'm not interested in becoming a coach. Um, it's not just about becoming a coach. It's about taking you to a deeper level. And in case you are listening to this and going, "Oh, I'm interested in becoming a coach," the first thing I say when I kick off the coaching program, I go, "This is not about the people you're about to change their lives. This is actually about you.
mm,
You're gonna bring the exact client that is gonna be coming into your life that's gonna help you go deeper. It's actually about you."
mm,
Don't get me wrong. You're going to help a lot of people. You're going to share a lot of things. You're going to teach people. You're going to share these insights, but that's going to help you go deeper, just like
mm.
it has for me. So anyway, a little bit of a teaser for next week.
Yeah.
Or do we
Yeah.
just run that whole thing? We just did it.
No, I have so many questions for you about that. I've been feeling that episode for a while now. So yeah, I'm glad we got to do that teaser. And for me, getting to share the work, it's so, so special getting to be able to, like, even just as a mom, to then go and share that with my child, but also getting to do that with a client has been like I'm now the words are not coming to me, but it's like the integration of it is so much more profound when you go and you share it with someone. So yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. And you
Hmm.
know, when you can't put it into words, you're like, I remember there was a video of Jamie, for some of you know Jamie Gonzalez, who also
Hmm.
originally got trained by me as well. And he was, I think you were asking him questions on a video, and
Yeah.
he was like, the words, it's just unfathomable. That's the
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. It's
You just
yeah,
you remind me
exactly.
of that video there.
Yeah. We don't all have your gift, Amir. You articulate it so beautifully.
Well, here's the other thing: the deeper you go in
Mm,
your in living this, because ultimately, you know, that's what drove me when I first started to talk about this. I was like, I know this stuff, but can I live it? Right, and that's what I
mm,
always say to these people, because people could do the WTF, and you get a lot of people who are like in the field or in doing this work, right, in their way, and they go, oh, I really resonate with Amir's WTF, loved it, da, da, da. But it's like, yeah, but can you live it?
mm,
Or can you just teach it and write a book about it? Can you
mm.
live it for yourself, not
Yeah.
for your clients and tell your clients? Can you live it? And that determines your ability to articulate it. The deeper your ability to live it will determine your ability to articulate it.
Mm,
So anyway, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
yes, I will. I will do
Might,
that.
might, it might be better than some of the other stuff you're smoking. Not you, the audience. I know you don't smoke anything, Christina.
Thank you for clearing that up for everyone.
I mean, you live in California. It's legal. Everything's legal there. So
Yeah, right. Oh, well, thanks so much for this chat today, Amir. It's so good to, be back in this space with you. And I'm excited for this to be out there and share some behind the scenes with our listeners. And, love to get back and have that next conversation soon.
awesome. Thank
Yep.
you, Christina. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. I'll see you for next recording.
Yeah. See you on the next one. Bye,
Bye bye.
guys.